1168. That's the amount of rushing yards Tahj Brooks needs to become the all-time leading rusher in Texas Tech football program history. Will he do it? We'll discuss that in today's video and much more, including the depth chart for the Red Raiders in 2024 and who I think could be a potential breakout for the Red Raiders at the RB position. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast, and I want you to do one thing and one thing only for me in this video. Go down to that like button and smash it if you think Tahj Brooks will break the all-time rushing record at Texas Tech and get over 1,168 rushing yards in 2024. I'll let you know my prediction later on when I give my projections for the running back room in 2024. But if you think that'll happen, all I want you to do is like the video. All right, let's take a trip back. We did this with the quarterback position on Monday's video. Here on Wednesday, we are discussing the running backs. And let's look at the 2023 season, because outside of Tahj Brooks, it wasn't very good. But here we go. We've got 364 total attempts. By the way, these numbers are only for running backs. No quarterbacks, no wide receivers, just strictly running backs. If they were listed as a running back, they get their numbers included. You have the total rushing yards at 1,841, 11 total touchdowns, and as an RB group, they average just over 5 yards a carry, 5.32 to be specific. Now, in 2024, this is the depth chart the Red Raiders will go into fall camp with. Obviously, you know who number one is. It's that time right there with Tahj at number one, Cameron Valdez at the 2 spot, Cam Dickey in the 3 spot, as well as Jacoby Williams 4, and then Jaden Morris at 5 on the depth chart for the Red Raiders. And those are the only 5 running backs listed on the roster as of July 24th at the time you are hearing this video. All right, let's get into the newcomers, because I mentioned a guy that I think could have a breakout type season, and it's all relative, right? It depends on what your definition of breakout is. Mine is a guy that comes onto the scene that probably you didn't expect to do big things, and big things in terms of this is go out there and make impactful plays in key moments. And I think one of those guys can be Cam Dickey. Joey McGuire has repeatedly compared Cam Dickey to Tahj Brooks. And now I get it. Tahj Brooks is going to get a majority of the carries, but Cam Dickey has impressed at a very high level throughout only, spring camp, but also the summer. And if you look at him, he looks like a senior when it comes to his body. He does not look like a true freshman. That is something that's big for him. Also, his football IQ and his physicality are going to get him on the field and potentially be as high as RB2 on the depth chart week in and week out if things go his way. He is a guy that I am super excited about and potentially could form a thunder and lightning type scenario for the Red Raiders after Tahj Brooks leaves after this season, with the likes of Jacoby Williams, another guy that Joey McGuire has just been high on, right? Jacoby Williams is coming from a two-way school, and Joey McGuire has said that if he was playing at a higher level of competition in the state of Texas, he would have been a high 4-star recruit. He did everything for his team there at the two-way level. He is a track star. He is a guy that could come in today and make an impact potentially on special teams. But in the future, I really like the possibility of a 1-2 punch in the backfield for the Red Raiders of Cam Dickey and Jacoby Williams. I'm really excited about that duo, not only in 2024, because I think they could make a play or two as true freshmen that really impact and decide a game, but also moving forward onto year number 4, 5 of Joey McGuire out in the 806. All right, the returnees. We know who the number 1 returnee is. That's Tahj Brooks, arguably the greatest running back in Texas Tech program history. I don't think that that's a crazy statement to put out there. Call me on it if you think it is, but he's 1,168 yards away from being the all-time leading rusher in program history at Texas Tech. If he gets there, will definitely have his name on the facade of Jones AT&T Stadium. He's a guy that should have less carries. He had 290 last year. I think he could have less carries but be far more efficient due to the fact that the wide receivers, who we will talk about in Friday's video here on the channel, are going to be exponentially better, right? So you're going to see less stacked boxes if you're Tahj Brooks. He is a guy that everyone on this team wants to get that record. Caleb Rogers was emphatic about it at Big 12 Media Days. So was Behren Morton. You listen to guys on this offense talk about Tahj Brooks, and it is at the upper echelon of leadership, right? He's a guy that embodies everything that it means to be a Red Raider, and they want to get him that record. And I think it's going to happen. And in fact, we'll talk about it here in a little bit in terms of my prediction and projections for him in 2024. But I think he could have a better season in 2024 than he did in 2023. All right, Cameron Valdez, remember, he actually entered the portal for a little bit, but ended up returning back to the 806. He's shown flashes of explosiveness, also has fumbled the ball a couple of times, but he just needs to be more consistent. And now, to be fair to him, that's difficult to do when you have a guy like Tahj Brooks in front of you that's getting a majority of the carries, and you're not kind of finding that rhythm in game if you're Cameron Valdez. But he does have home run type ability at the running back position. Can he be consistent with it in the sense of the carries that he does get on the field and really impact the passing game as well? Because I think he can be a much improved guy out of the backfield from a passing game perspective. So he's the name to watch. The other returnee is Jaden Morris. I expect him to be more on the special team side of it and just a depth piece. Now, when it comes to my prediction and projection for Tahj Brooks, remember, I asked you to like the video if you think Tahj Brooks will break the all-time rushing record and be the, best running back in terms of yards ever at Texas Tech this season. Again, 1168. I know I sound like a broken record there, but that's the number we've heard most from really everybody involved in Texas Tech athletics, specifically in football. Here are my predictions / projections / whatever the hell you want to call them for the running back room of Texas Tech in 2024. There you go. 270 carries, 1,200 yards, and 12 touchdowns. That's what I think Tahj Brooks does in 2024. Again, he is going to have lighter boxes. He is going to be more efficient when this offense gets going because the wide receivers are better, the tight ends are deeper. I think the offensive line, it may not be leaps and bounds better, but it will be better. And that's the thing with Tahj Brooks. And, oh, by the way, Behren Morton being healthy is also going to be super impactful to Tahj Brooks. Defenses can't just keen in on him. He will be a player that defensive coordinators obviously focus on, but it can't be the sole focus anymore because of the likes of guys on the outside like Josh Kelly, like Jalen Conyers, that 5-star wide receiver Micah Hudson. There's multiple playmakers that are impactful playmakers on the outside for the Red Raiders that you can't just focus in on Tahj Brooks. And that is why I think Tahj Brooks does become the all-time leading rusher in Texas Tech football program history and gets 1,200 yards. And I think he gets to that number on senior night against West Virginia at Jones AT&T Stadium. I think it would just be a phenomenal storybook type ending to a historic career for a guy that, again, embodies what it means to be a Red Raider to a T, right? You also got Cam Valdez and you got Cam Dickey. I have similar amount of carries for those guys because, again, I think Texas Tech is going to be far more efficient when it comes to the passing game and the run game. So I'm giving those guys similar carries there and similar lines. I think Jacoby Williams will be more likely redshirted than anything because it's going to be a gigantic jump from him going from two-way to power 4 football. I mean, it's just realistic, right? And then you have Jaden Morris down there as well when it comes to special teams. As I mentioned, I do have Tahj Brooks breaking the all-time leading rushing record at Texas Tech. And again, I think he's going to have his name etched up in the facade of Jones AT&T Stadium one day. But again, let me know if you think that Tahj Brooks will break the Texas Tech all-time leading rushing record. I want you to do one thing and one thing only for me. Like the video. And while you're down there, you might as well hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell to stay in the know on all things Texas Tech football and men's basketball. All year long, we're going to be having live streams for each and every game except for Colorado because your boy will be out in the 806 for that one. But every other game we'll be having live streams where you can interact with thousands upon thousands of Red Raiders because, listen, this is the most subscribed to Texas Tech YouTube channel. So what are you doing? Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell to join the Back to 12 squad.